We are finally in the year that Cyberpunk 2077 releases. April 16th is a few months away and it's totally my most anticipated game that we know of right now. I'm actually playing The Witcher 3 again, and just the idea that a new product from this studio is close gets me very excited. But CD Projekt Red always said that they would have another RPG ready by the end of 2021. Very interesting stuff, right? And high chance that it's Witcher related. So let's get into it. Would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support. And let's go. Back in 2016, CD Projekt Red announced a multi-year plan in a big document that I will link to down in the video description. They would divide their upcoming plans into periods. So the current year that the plan was made in 2016, and then the following 5-year period, so 2017 till the end of 2021. In 2016 they wanted to release the second expansion pack for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine, and they of course did that. And then for the later years they had a release for Cyberpunk 2077 planned that we now of course know is in April 2020. And then yep, you already see it, they also wanted to release another AAA RPG title. That sounds very ambitious indeed, but more recently in March 2019 during their financial livestream that they did on their YouTube channel, they actually confirmed that we are not looking at a game like Cyberpunk 2077 or The Witcher 3 in terms of scope. It's namely a different concept than those games, likely implying that it will not be a big open world RPG like those two. During the E3 Coliseum, we learned from Marcin, the co-founder of CD Projekt Red, that they have around the 700 developers right now. And 400 of those developers are working on Cyberpunk 2077 to finish that game off, and that's pretty big for industry standards. They also have a team working on Gwent, the card game of course that is still going, and it was noted that 40 to 50 developers were working on this new RPG that should launch after Cyberpunk. I totally think more will join though after Cyberpunk is finished, but they totally made it clear that we should not expect the same amount of people on that project. And instead of calling it a AAA RPG, they got a little more specific around that time too, saying in their financial report of 2018, that was also launched in March 2019, that it's an AAA story-driven RPG. So that sounds like a more linear game than the aforementioned other games. What could it be? Well, again, there's a very high chance that this is in the Witcher universe. In 2019, they confirmed that they only have 2 IPs and that we should not expect anything different. The president of CD Projekt Red noted that they never said that this new AAA RPG is a new IP and that they have 2 franchises, Cyberpunk and The Witcher, and that's it for now. And then he continues, so if there is another game, it will be Cyberpunk or The Witcher, nothing else. Well, I think that Cyberpunk is already pretty occupied. On Twitter they confirmed that after the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, we will be getting some free DLCs. So likely comparable to what we saw with The Witcher 3, where we got an armor set, a beard and hairstyle set, an alternative look for Jennifer, and also a new contract, and later they even added more. So I totally expect something similar for Cyberpunk 2077. And then they have single player content planned, so likely comparable to Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. And then they want to do some multiplayer action. So that sounds like a lot of Cyberpunk stuff already. Not sure where a AAA story-driven game will fit into that. Also because they will still be making DLC in 2021 when this new game is supposed to launch. It's again not out of the realm of possibilities, but I would argue that a new Witcher game is way more likely. On August 30th, 2019, CD Projekt Red announced that they are incorporating a new dual franchise model, meaning that they want to be working on both franchises concurrently, so they will have more frequent releases and not just one big one every 5 years. It's still of course very ambitious, but they can do it if not every game they release is as big as Cyberpunk or The Witcher 3. So that's also why a more story-driven RPG set in those universes would make way more sense, because that obviously takes less time to make and also requires less resources. Again, CD Projekt Red already confirmed that this game that is after Cyberpunk is on a different scale. And maybe you heard the news, but CD Projekt Red very recently made a deal again with the writer of the Witcher books after that author did not really like the terms of their recent deal. He namely did not think that the Witcher games would be a success, so took a one-time payment instead of part of the revenue. Well, on December 20th, 2019, they made a new deal. I believe today marks a new stage in our continued relationship. That's what the CEO of CD Projekt Red said, and it's of course the perfect time to make a deal like this if you plan to launch a new Witcher product pretty soon. But yeah, what could it be? In 2017 they said that they see the story of the trilogy as complete, but they still wanted to return to the world of The Witcher in some way or another. And around this time, the voice actor of Geralt said that he knew nothing about any fourth Witcher game. And of course, this is like 2.5 years ago at this point. Maybe he's already briefed, but it could also mean that Geralt is not in this new Witcher game and that we play, for example, Ciri and learn more about what she did prior to The Witcher 3. They already made her playable in The Witcher 3, so maybe they could use those systems to create a story-driven adventure around her. Or maybe they want to explore the stories of the books more, so before The Witcher 1, something that is more in line with the TV show. Maybe you remember the villain at the end of the Hearts of Stone DLC that teased in one of the endings that we did not see the last of him. There are of course so many things that they could do, and I of course want to hear your takes in the comments down below, and limit the spoilers of course for people that are now playing the game after the hype of the TV show, like give some spoiler warnings please. There's also a mod that makes The Witcher 1 in the engine of The Witcher 3 because The Witcher 1 did not age very well. And the footage you by the way see right here is from Ex Letalis and is of the prologue of The Witcher 1. And if you want to see it in full, then I will leave a link in the video description to that video so you can check it out if you want. A remake of an older game like is totally something that CD Projekt Red could also do at one point, especially thanks to the success of the TV show right now. Like, not sure if you saw this news story, but The Witcher 3 hit 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, and that is more than it did around launch, while normally for single player games the highest number of players play around the release date, and this game is 5 years old of course. So yeah, it's pretty big, and remastering or remaking The Witcher 1 is totally something they could do, but this new story-driven AAA game is not going to be a port. CD Projekt Red already confirmed that. It will include new content, they said. So yeah, it's very interesting stuff. We will likely not hear about it for some time because CD Projekt Red already noted many times that they now want to focus on Cyberpunk, and that actually talking about a new game before Cyberpunk has come out is bad for business because people need to be looking at Cyberpunk right now and be hyped about that. And that of course makes sense, so I expect maybe an announcement at the Game Awards 2020 at the earliest for this next game. Cyberpunk will likely take up many awards, so announcing your next game on that stage could be a perfect timing. Again, especially if they want to release this new AAA game before the end of 2021. That was the plan at least in 2016, and they once again confirmed it in 2019. Maybe that will change this year, but we will likely learn more about that in March during their financial report. Will totally be interesting to follow. I was thinking about this game and wanted to do research after working on my big games that will be announced in 2020 video that will be up soon by the way. It's not included there because I just cannot say with 100% certainty that it will be announced there. Like, I'm not 100% sure that it will be the case. Although, if it indeed launches in 2021, you would think that they want to show it this year, right? Let's now focus on Cyberpunk 2077 though, as CD Projekt Red will be doing too. It will be the biggest marketing campaign for them by the way, should be way bigger than The Witcher 3. And I'm totally ready to see more and hopefully we'll be able to go hands-on with the game and then report back to you. I was already lucky enough to see it behind closed doors at E3 and you can watch my video about it by clicking on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe for way more Cyberpunk 2077 content. I have a giveaway right now for a 2020 game of your choice in the pinned comment, so participate in that if you want. A like would of course be super appreciated. And for now, I will speak to you next time. Goodbye!